Testing 1, 2. Good morning, guys. So this one is an inspired post by pretty much an experience I had yesterday. But more than that, just a reminder as to what kind of questions we ask ourselves. And if we ask a different question, we can get a different result. But it requires us to be conscious of the habitual questions that we're asking. And I promise you, if you listen to this all the way through that, and you actually put this into practice, I will guarantee you on Life of this podcast that it will change your life. It'll help you get the result that you're looking for in any aspect of your life, whether it be your health, your losing weight, or the finances you want to create. So this one is called It Will Work. Hi, guys. My name is Donnie Rouse, and you are listening to the podcast One Life. It will work. Depending on the questions we ask, we get a different result. Said differently, the results we have in our life are directly correlated to the questions we ask on a habitual basis. One of the problems is that so many of us don't know what questions we are asking unconsciously. But if we want to transform our life, if we want to make our lives better, juicier, we have to become conscious. We have to bring consciousness into those questions. So, what kind of questions have you been asking yourself? Think of a desire that you have, a goal that you have. What are the questions you ask? You may look at that desire but you may ask a question saying, or you may make a statement saying, you know what? This is not going to work. And then notice the results that you've been getting. Because until you realize the results you've been getting, until you realize the actions you've been taking as a result of having this focus, you start to realize that you are the creator of your dreams. You're the creator of your life. I was in Whole Foods yesterday, and I met one of my friends that I hadn't seen in a very long time, my friend Zim. He's actually going to be, I'm going to interview him on this podcast. To give you a little backstory about Zim, for the longest time, was reluctant to travel. He wanted to travel, but he could not get away from his business. He had a thriving business doing, I'm going to be butchering this, I think he did like cabinetry and like custom work in high-end houses. He said, Donnie, I really want to travel with you. At the time, I was going to Thailand. And he was telling me how he wanted to join me and that he was going to join me. But then when it came time to book, he's like, I just can't step away. It's too busy. And I tried telling him, I said, listen, it's always going to be too busy. There's always going to be something to come up. But you have to carve out the time that you want for the things that are important to you. So at the time, this is what was important to him. I saw him last night, and he started dating someone new who is a world traveler who's literally been to 140 countries. Envious. Or not envious, I should say, something for me to aspire to. And he was saying how meeting her just literally changed his entire life. It changed his perspective. It changed his values. This is a guy who had a BMW that he would do custom modifications to the BMW and spend like $100,000. So for him to now move from being there to now saying, you know what, I value experiences was huge. But the thing is that he's like, you know what, I didn't know what I didn't know. So I came home and speaking with him really jazzed me up. It got me really excited because it reminded me of the desires I have for my own life. Like I love coffee, but I also love travel a lot. And I want to create and share experiences so this way you can, participate in that cup of coffee and, and see the travels and taste the inspirations that are coming. So that was my desire, but I didn't know how to get there. Right? My focus was in a really shitty place. So I was really, really pumped up last night. The first thing I did was I called one of my friends, my friend Ryan, and was sharing with him this excitement that I felt. And when we have these moments of excitement, it's extremely important to pay attention to them because they are the way. They are telling you where you should go, right? Because so many times we feel like we have to go in a certain direction and we dredge to get there. We're like, oh my God, I got to make that call. I got to send the email. But there's no passion in it. But when you find that passion, it's like a flag. It's a marker saying, all right, this is the way, go this way. And all of a sudden now it illuminates all the other actions you got to take. So now the actions that you were hemming and hawing over maybe come easily because now you have a different focus, you have a goal. Do you hear me? So when I came home, I was thinking about being abroad, and it got me thinking and asking a different question. Well, first I started thinking about like me curating, having experiences and sharing those experiences with people online specifically regarding coffee. This morning when I was doing my morning gratitude, I was writing down things that I was grateful for, like talking about my friend Zim and the experience of just running into him. And then when I started just to imagine what the possibilities were, a question popped in my mind, and it wasn't an empowering one. It said, yeah, but this won't, it wasn't even a question, it was a statement. It goes, yeah, but this won't work. So every thought is the outcome of a question asked, is the result of a question. So what was the question was I asking? Why wouldn't this work? And I started to break apart. Well, why would this work? If I were curating, like traveling around the world, tasting different coffees, getting experiences and sharing it with people who were tuning in and watching, buying my coffees, I think that'd be pretty freaking awesome. I would want to buy some coffee from that person, but there was this belief in my head that no, it won't work. So as I literally continue to break apart this belief and go through my gratitude, I was realizing that those beliefs actually were kind of made a web. These questions made a web over a lot of different areas of my life. So it made me think, well, there was three questions. If you ask these three questions, I promise it will change your entire life. The thing is that you have to change them. You have to ask them consistently, right? Anyone could ask the question once, feel like a little bit of a perk, but then also we regress, we go back to the old way of thinking. That's not going to get us anywhere. The three questions. Get your pen and paper out, because these are the bread and butter. These are the juicy things. So think of a desire that you want, right? Something that, for me, it is having that freedom life. Like, not, I want to have my coffee company, but I want to go out and I want to curate experiences, and I want to share these experiences and inspire people through my coffee. Yeah, well, it kind of seems I talk to people, they say, wow, I see it. For me, sometimes it would feel daunting. I'm like, well, how would it work? So why will it work? That's the first question. Why will it work? Ask yourself a different question. You will get yourself a different answer. Secondly, what do I have that can assist me and help me in getting to that goal? So many times we focus on the lack. We focus on the things that we do not have. And as a result of focusing and asking the questions and looking at the things you don't have, that's what you get. You get more of the lack. But when you ask, well, what is it that I have? You start to get resourceful. You start to look at what are the resources around me? Well, I have a Mac computer. I could create videos right through this. I could, I've attended business seminars. There's lessons and learnings I could share. And the third and probably one of the most powerful questions, you have to change your belief system, right? You have to believe that it's possible. The third is, who do I know that can help get me that result? Right? Because if you were to say, well, what do I have to do? Now all of a sudden you have this giant laundry list, and you may not know what the next step is, right? So you might be just shooting in the air. But when you ask, who do I know that can help me get the result? Or who do I know that may know someone who can help me get that result? Now all of a sudden you're asking a different question, and you're looking for someone who has the strategy that will move forward, the answers that you don't have yourself at this moment. But you have the ability to be resourceful, to ask different questions to get different answers. So when I realized this, I asked myself these questions. I realized that I had lessons. I had taken business courses And a lot of the material that I learned, I never put into action. Going back to the first one, because I was telling myself all the reasons why it would not work. But when I say, well, why will it work? Different answers come in. So to bring it all back into to the foundation, or the reason why I'm posting this is, think of an area of your life where you think of a result that you want. What are the questions you've been asking yourself? Next, what are the results you've been getting? Again, right here, I want you to see that the question you're asking, your focus is the reason you're getting the result that you're getting. And then next, I want you to ask yourself those 3 questions. Why will it work? Or if why will it work is a little bit too strong of a statement, then say, well, why could it work? Why is it possible that it just may work? Right? Give yourself that inkling of a possibility, and all of a sudden now you're like, well, if it might work, this might be a way or a reason why it might work, and you start to expand yourself to the possibility. Secondly, what do I have in my arsenal, in my resources? What do I currently possess that could start moving me forward in that direction? When you ask that question, you'll start to say, well, in my example, I'm like, well, I have great coffee. I have raving fan customers. I have a website that I can leverage, and I have social media accounts where I can start doing some ads and give people an offer that they can't refuse. They'll try my coffee because I'm confident they love it, yada, yada, yada. And then third, who do I know that can help me? Let's go to that social media question. Like, well, right now, I don't really know anyone who does Facebook and Instagram ads, but I know they're pretty effective because I know there's a lot of companies doing it. Otherwise, they wouldn't post them. I could literally do a Google search and just start interviewing people and start to learn. And I'll find somebody. The people are out there and they have the experience. So I could learn from them. And I'm sure I probably know some people who are selling. Actually, I do know people who are selling online, coffee specifically, who are doing the same thing. They're traveling around, and they're selling online. So the resources, what I want you to go is all the answers are within you now. You just have to look for them. You just have to ask a different question to start getting a different result, the result that you want, instead of the result that you do not want. So that is all for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and please comment. Send me some comments. If you have any questions, please send those as well. But I'm curious. Commit to doing this for 1 week. Set an alarm on your phone 3 times a day to think about in one area, one structure of your life, and to ask those questions. And I would be very happy and very surprised if you didn't get a different result and your focus, it didn't start moving you in the direction that you want to go. So if you like this, please consider subscribing. You can visit my website, www.donnyraus.com. Again, donnyraus.com. And there you could also submit a form to ask a question or submit a comment. Thank you so much for tuning in. I realize that you could be putting your attention anywhere, and I'm very happy to be able to spend this time to share these nuggets of information, these findings, these tidbits that I learned that I know will impact my life, but also that I can share it this way they can impact you. Because the rising tide lifts all boats. So that's all I've got for you guys today. God bless. Thank you so much. I want you to remember this. The one thing I want you to remember is you only get one life. Live it. God bless. Thank you so much, and I will see you again soon.